trying to move on. I'm here the last day.
Is this your stand?
This is Dan's, but I'm one of the members of. I mean, we had different views
On certain things. Okay.
So does everyone. Even the King William, he's very good.
Is it interesting as to
Right to bear arms. Are you going to go on about that one?
well, not go. I have some questions.
Yeah.
So is
I
that
like guns myself to shoot people.
shoot people?
But Dan might have a different attitude.
Do you mind if I record?
No, not at all. That was being cynical. You know.
Okay.
You do understand satire.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So far away.
So, do you agree with the second point?
Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Yes, the right to bear
Do
arms.
you agree with that? So, would you be open? Oh dear, someone's just fallen. Sorry. It's all right. Saw someone fall.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hand people, guns coming out of Broadmoor.
Right.
I mean, there has to be. I mean, from my point of view, I mean, I want to get some decency back into society. God, country, family. Build the family up, build the man up, woman in the blah, blah, blah. You know.
Right.
But if we don't have the way, from my point, my daughter's in Malaysia. Would I give her arms training? Yes, certainly. You can get a gun in Malaysia. Yes, yes, I would give her sensible gun training, but I would have it locked in the house. If when she's 18, then she would,
Yeah.
if I left her in the house by herself.
Would you want very strict background checks?
Of course, yes. Yeah. I mean, different states in America have different laws. It's not. You can't walk in and get. But they are a bit fanatical about their guns.
Yeah. I think a lot of critics might be interested to know that, wondering if the right to bear arms is applied to everyone equally, no matter what their cultural background is.
I mean,
or would you have reservations about that?
You see, I'm not really believing in democracy either.
Oh, you're not you're not favouring democracy.
No, I'm not very happy with it, and I don't believe all people are equal. I don't believe. I think there are. I'm happy that say certain tribes in Africa. I spent 10 years of my life out there. Were handed out AK-47s. No, and I was living close by at the time. No,
Right.
It's. I don't know. I'm not just happy with me. I'd like to be a mountain man. I gave it all out when I was in South Africa. Went to the Wild Coast, had a fishing rod, found a deserted boathouse, and I was happy.
Wow, yeah, I've been to that sort of place myself.
You were whereabouts?
All up the southwestern coast of South Africa. I've been on a big road trip. We went from Cape Town to Namibia.
Well, you were on the other side. The Transkei, I was on the Transkei.
Oh, I've been at the east side as well, Durban and...
down further from Port St John's, Coffee Bay.
Oh, okay.
I was Cora Mouth, I can't do the click.
Causa, yes.
Cora Mouth, and I loved it. I loved it.
How do you find the people?
In the Transkei, didn't have much to do with them, really. I mean, they had a superstition about going to the sand at night, so we were very safe.
Oh, okay.
We had the tourists. I went down with a friend. You have to have someone wash your back, And we had a tourist come from Port Elizabeth in East London, the nicest South Africans I've ever. It was more the Zulus, Basotho. I'm an honorary Basotho, maybe the only one.
So you're an honorary
Basotho. I was working in Lesotho.
Oh wow!
They made me an honorary. There were only 3 others, but they might be dead, or they might have incorporated more. You never know. So I like the Basotho, Swati. I got the Zulus I got on very well. But there's a Zulu cause a divide there. They could get caught.
Really? Yeah, I stayed in a Zulu village myself. In the KwaZulu-Natal. Umfolozi, if that rings a bell.
I don't know the Natal that well.
Umfolozi was the, I think it was the name of the area that they were located. I don't know if it's the name of the park or name of their tribe, but it was quite an interesting experience. Really, you know.
So I just come back from Borneo, and that's the last frontier. Maybe Indonesia, Borneo. You can still go a bit wild out there, but there's nowhere left. I don't fancy your generation. The travel I did, I'm 64. I had my 18th birthday in Libya. You know.
Oh, in Libya?
Yeah.
Must be very different back then. It was under Gaddafi. I mean,
yeah. No one could get in, but my mother worked for the embassy here, so I got in, no problem. I had the whole Roman ruins to myself. Magnificent, man. And I don't fancy travel today. Mr. and Mrs. Lonely Planet.
Yeah. I still wish I could travel more, to be honest.
But when Dan's free, it's more his gig than mine, you know.
Yeah. And it says here, there's another point it says here, comprehensive teaching of British history.
Yes.
So you say all of British history, both good and bad.
Yes.
So some critical people might say, oh, what about the slave trade? Should they be talk about that?
No, please do. Go on to Iconoclast and learn a bit about the slave trade. Who was the first country to ban the slave trade?
It was the UK, yes.
And Ethiopia did it in 1935.
Who, sorry?
Ethiopia banned it in 1935. That was very good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we put a sixth of our fleet when we had problems with the French, and we had to up our grades of ships to match the Americans.
Yeah.
I mean, no, let's have both sides of the Ottoman white slavery. The Ottoman genocides. Come on. I'm proud of my country.
And British involvement in suppressing the Kenyans in Africa as well, the 1950s.
Sorry?
I just think of the sort of things people critical would come up with. I'm not saying I'm critical myself.
Well, read Edge of Eden by Nicholas Prophet about best book I've read on Africa, Edge of Eden.
Edge of Eden.
About Kenya.
Okay.
I went to school with a lot of Kenyans.
Oh, right.
Right. If you want to, if you want to say evil British people,
I think balance is important. I think yes.
Yeah, but we get the other way.
Show the good, show the bad, but don't focus on one or the other. That's my view. Don't focus on one or the other.
It's come right round. It's too much of the other now. You know.
Some might feel that way.
I feel that way.
You feel that way.
You can feel the other way. Feel what you like, as long as you're not feeling me in personal areas.
No.
History is written by the winners,
yes.
And you're in the ascendancy.
Okay. I
presume you're on the leftist side.
I'm critical. I try to be more balanced. I'm critical of a lot of the things the left do. I don't think it should be focused. The history should be focused entirely on all the bad stuff the UK's done. It should be focused on
135 Nobel prizes. You go into a bookshop. I'm an avid reader. You go and see the top 20. There's no Graham Greens anymore. There's no William Goldings. There's no Anthony Burgess. You know, how many women's titles? And apart from Isabel Allende, who I think deserves a Nobel Prize, but she won't get it. I don't equate. Modern literature today, no. And how many writers out there? I mean, if we're not organised, man, we're not. I mean, the left are better organised than us. I want to get publishers together to get.
You said the left are more organised.
Oh yeah, much better.
Maybe, as in specific political parties and groups are probably quite organised, but as a whole, I wouldn't say the left are very organised. I've seen how they protest.
That was pretty good.
They're against organisation in a way.
No. I mean, as soon as the election was out, they were there. They had the placards, man. They're getting. I mean, okay, they say it about us. We're getting finance, but I know they're getting finance. Pingman and Co-Parliaments gave Stephen Bray house, $7,000 a month. You know, and I was doing guard duty on nothing. You know, we were whipping together a couple of hot coffee and a bacon sandwich.
Yeah.
But I gave a leftist a bit of chip once because of his yellow cycle shorts. And he went and got me a coffee. And I'm sure he didn't spit.
That's what he got you a coffee. That sounds like one of the the better of the lot, the more behaved lot. But
no, but we had nothing.
I've had some personally. I've had some negative experiences with certain people, certain left-wing, far left groups. Like I was at Speaker's Corner, and I was just in the area, and they thought I was one of the attendees, and they were like, you getting in my face and everything.
Why I was so good against them when I was guarding the flag, because I was in Speaker's Corner in its heyday. What they done to it, it just makes me cry. I was going to do a written article. This is 45 years ago, man. You tank up in the pub.
Yeah.
2:30 closing hours, and it's free entertainment at its best. And we had some of the best hecklers the world has ever seen. And if the speaker, they give them a bit of grief, and if you take it, they would move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went up to some Moonies. You remember the Moonies?
That's before my time, I think.
A sickly lot.
Right.
And they said, okay, they gave him grief. They said, you tell us a joke and we'll give you 15 minutes without heckling, which I think was pushing it, but
there's some like better times. These days it's all wooden sticks and
no, it's not
fireworks.
I'm not boring in my time. I'm glad I remember steam engines. I remember the shops being different. I remember. I mean, I went to school, prep school, with the first Nigerian Prime Minister's son. The head boy was the High Commissioner's son. Never had any racial. A woman did a pupil dilation course on me, principally for advertising, but she asked me, she explained it was, I'm going to show you images to see. She said I was the most racially balanced out of all of them. That's not just showing a good-looking black woman and an ugly-looking white woman. It was all balanced throughout the way. And you can tell, you can't lie, because it's your pupil.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And one of your points here about freedom of speech, I do think that's very important. That does need to be restored.
There are laws that cover, you know, one of our numbers, she got put in jail for 28 days, based Amy.
I met her.
Yes, lovely.
Yes.
She's beautiful. For calling Sudbury.
Is she here today?
Yes, she's somewhere around.
I thought
when Sudbury was up there and I was down there, I had all the Speaker's Corner stuff. I was going to shout, Sudbury, the Nazi Party doesn't want you. You're bad for their image.
Jokes.
Yeah. I mean, they're not fun. Most of the press that we had, and we had a lot, and when you asked them, they said, yeah, they preferred to interview us. They found them very wooden, not fun. We're fun. We're nice people.
Yeah.
Just like our guns.
Okay.
Well, Dan does.
Yeah.
You'd be more articulate on the Second Amendment far away.
Really?
I just told him I just like shooting him.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You should have seen what happened to the last person who interviewed him.
what happened?
Well, you know, we don't like to talk about that.
Oh.
No, go on.
I was just. Do you mind if I?
Yeah. What are you doing?
It's just my own channel, really. It's very.
Got a YouTube
level
channel?
Yeah, it's a very level 1 stuff. So I haven't even got editing going yet. And the last video uploaded was.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah. So I was just wondering on the second point, and I asked your friend here the same question. Do you agree with the right? You agree with the right to bear arms?
Oh yeah.
Would you say that's for everyone, every citizen, or and all residents as well?
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, okay. So,
Like, if someone has the right to work, therefore the right to pay taxes, do they also have the right to bear arms?
no, I mean, I think you should be a citizen. Yeah, I would have thought so. To be a citizen, yeah. I mean, most people who are resident are probably looking to become citizens. So yeah, I think you're right.
Once they're a citizen,
because all your rights.
Yeah.
You know, you get full rights when you're a citizen. So the right to bear arms would come under that.
Okay.
But I mean, I think, in a sense, the right to bear arms should be a universal right for all people in all countries.
In all countries?
Yes,
so
of course.
No matter their cultural background?
Well, of course. I mean,
all right.
because you know, if you look at what's going on around the world now, and it has happened throughout history, the person that you're most need to be afraid of is usually your own government.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we're fairly lucky in this country, you know, that our government's not, you know.
Well, it does have UK does have a history now of arresting and investigating comedians for jokes.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we've got it. That's why we're here. But I mean, I'm talking about what's going on all around the world. I mean, like Hong Kong and places like that. Look at how different the situation in Hong Kong would be now if all of those students had weapons.
I think it would be very bloody.
Yes, well, but the state would have to think about what it was going to do. And so, yes, I mean, because you're never going to have an army bigger than the whole population.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point about America. I mean,
and see how much trouble they have in, you know.
So, like, they just had Virginia. They tried to
take away the
arms.
yes, take away the guns.
And so
the police,
tens of thousands of them came out on the street.
Yeah, and now there's sanctuary towns who are refusing to enforce any sort of laws.
And so the governors had to at least temporarily back down.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, well, hang on a minute, there's a lot more of them than there is of us.
And would you say you would have much more stricter background checks on people who get firearms, stricter than say the US? Would you have a very long process?
I mean, technically you'd have the right to bear arms already, actually, but it's just that I'm not an expert, by the way, in the Second Amendment in gun law.
Yeah.
But it's more the principle of it, so that we don't have this concept in this country, which we used to have, because in our we have a written constitution, actually. You know, the Bill of Rights of 1688-89, and actually the right to bear arms is there. It's written in there.
Oh, right.
Yes,
I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
I was not aware of that.
Check it out.
Yeah.
So the Bill of Rights 1688-89, which is actually the foundation document of our democracy.
Right.
You know, the
glorious.
glorious.
I thought that was Magna Carta.
Well, that is even earlier.
Yeah.
Yes, that is even more of a foundation stone of our democracy. But the Bill of Rights 1688-89 came out of the Glorious Revolution, and so that was the settlement between Parliament and the monarchy. But that settlement was constituted on that Bill of Rights.
Right.
And that set out the duties of the monarch and the Parliament, and the rights of the citizens.
Right.
And the right to bear arms was one of them. Although, in fact, what it says, if you read it, is the right to bear arms for Protestant.
For Protestants.
Protestant males, because
that's a bit discriminatory if it was applied these days.
Well, it was because of the historical situation of the time.
Yeah.
Rome and Britain were at loggerheads. So Catholics were a fifth column.
Okay.
So in a way, that's the reason for that.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Well, thanks for your time. I'm going to see if I can speak
Yes,
to other people.
okay. All right.
Very long. The event,
Why don't
is
you
still
talk to
very
my-
young.
Talk to my colleague here. He's King William.